Morning, everyone. Usually I tend to do music which is older. This is about as new as a composition can get. It was published last Tuesday, May 26th. It is very timely. It's by a French composer, Jean-François Delcamp, and it is a suite which he calls Suite of Face Masks in Time of COVID-19. And it's styled in the way of a French harpsichord suite of the 1600s might have been. So this is the opening movement, the prelude. And this is the prelude of the Green Mask.
Good morning. I'm Björn Korbanka, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees here at South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. My pronouns are his, him, and he. Come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter your gender, whom you love, how you speak, or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. You're welcome here, whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. No matter what you have experienced in the past, no matter what awaits you in the future, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time or some of the time or none of the time, you are welcome here. This is a community of open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. You're welcome here at South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society.
Good morning. Welcome to South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. My name is Reverend Carrie Madrone, and I am the interim minister here virtually this year. My pronouns are she and hers. This morning, our call to worship comes from Amy Kindred, in particular because this service is all about recognizing our leaders and the ongoing contributions that we have given to each other, especially over the course of this last year. She writes, "Of all the gifts in the world, for love, we are grateful. Of all the gifts in the world, for helping hands, we are grateful. Of all the gifts in the world, for food, we are grateful. May we remember that the best gifts don't arrive wrapped in paper or bows. For love, helping hands, food, and so much more, including each of you, we are grateful." For this morning's in-gathering song, we're doing a new experiment. We're having several people are singing from their homes, and John Berquist, from a recording he made, is accompanying them. And so, Lori, I'm going to ask you to change the screen to gallery view so people can more easily see the people who are participating in this, which is Mary Norton, David Norton, John Cooper, Sutton Morgan, Ellen Pezant, and Lisa Youngberg.
That God who loves us stays, rise above the daily strife. Lift on high the good you find, help to heal the hurts of life.
Be that helper nothing daunts, doubt of friend or taunt of foe, ever strive for liberty, show the path that life should go. Trusting good, bitter though the test may be, through all ages they are right, though they build in agony.
He that teacheth faith to works, look beyond the old frontier, though the frightened fear that faith be tomorrow's pioneer.
All right, now for the chalice lighting. Natalie's going to put the chalice lighting words in the chat box. If you have a small candle or chalice of your own, we welcome you to light it with us. Everyone will be unmuted. We light this. Everyone will be unmuted. All right. I'll go ahead, you can say it at home. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action. Woohoo!
Jim just jumped off the porch.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Rebecca Britt. I'm today's lay worship leader. The pronouns I use are she and her. I'd like to welcome everyone this morning to South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. We're an intentionally diverse and welcoming community. All are welcome here. We would like to extend an especially warm welcome to those of you who are visiting us for the first time. We're so glad you're here. We'd love to get to know you. Our connection card will be dropped into the chat box for any newcomers so you can be connected to our community. This is a caring and supportive community. During this time of physical distancing, we are working to be creative in how we take care of one another. A group of members are actively reaching out to folks in our community and will continue to do so while we are in this pandemic. The pastoral care card has been put on our website, and it's in the link that Natalie is going to put in the chat box. All our services are intergenerational online services. Summer religious exploration is around the corner. It's coming up soon. To find out more about RE classes, review the Happenings newsletter, and contact me, Rebecca Britt, Director of Religious Exploration. And my email address is going to be in the chat box. To keep updated on the activities that are part of the South Valley community, we encourage you to use the Google Calendar on the South Valley website. If there are activities that you know of that are not on the calendar, or if you would like to host a group gathering, please use the reservation form on the website. Although we're physically separate, we are still connected. Next week, we'll have a very special service. South Valley is collaborating with 4 other Utah UU congregations for this year's online Pride service. The service will be at 10 a.m. at a new Zoom link that will be widely available soon. After today's service, there will be a 10-minute break and we will have fellowship time together. We'll be staying in this same Zoom room. And now for sharing the warmth of the community, please take this time to say hello to each other in the chat box. Please say where you are joining us from, and you will also be unmuted.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, if you would get your last hellos in, we'll start the time for all ages. Hello.
You say hi.
All right. Karen, can you help me get started? So by popular demand, Porpoise and Fish are back to tell you a story. This is Porpoise and Fish, Some Ways to Say Thank You, which is by me, and of course, Porpoise and Fish. Porpoise and Fish were having a really good day. They live in a house with me, Christine, and Max, and they really like it when good things happen, especially when they don't plan it. Like today, Max made chocolate chip cookies and invited them to eat some cookies. This was really nice of Max to share with us, said Porpoise. I wonder why he did it. Max probably wants something from us, Fish said. It's like a trade. We have to go back to South Valley and get our marbles to pay him. Oh, no, I told them. Max is sharing cookies because he cares about you. He doesn't expect anything back, but it might make him feel good if you showed him you appreciate what he did. Max is out skateboarding, so Porpoise and Fish thought about ways they could show their appreciation, and they decided to practice.
Hello. Okay.
Earlier in the week, the neighborhood mail carrier Norm brought them new markers, and they felt really grateful because they knew Norm was out on the front lines every day, and his delivery made staying home more fun for them. Well, we could wait out here and tell him we say thank you, Porpoise said. That's less safe for Norm, Porpoise pointed out. But we can still use words. Let's leave a note instead and tell him how his delivery made us feel. Thankful. Thank you, Norm. There's Porpoise and Fish by a mailbox with a sign that says thank you, Norm. Then Phil came back from the fire station, finally. Porpoise and Fish had been waiting because they remembered that Phil made them pizza earlier in the week, and that made them feel happy. Well, we could give Phil a note too, Fish suggested. Let's try something new, though. Phil shared his cooking talents with us, Fish said. I don't have a talent to share with him right now, but I can give him something that will make him happy. Bubbles! Oh, Phil loves the bubbles. Max still wasn't home, and they had so many more ideas for how to say thank you. There was saying thank you out loud. There was offering to help the same way they were helped or in a new way. They thought about telling other people about how Max made them cookies or offering to help the next time he wanted to make cookies. They decided to try just one more thing before Max came home. Earlier, Christine had listened to them talk about how they missed South Valley building and how they felt angry and sad sometimes. They decided to show her they felt thankful with a hug. Can we give you a hug to say thank you? Porpoise asked. Christine said yes. They couldn't wait for Max to come home to show him all the ways they appreciate him sharing the cookies. The end. So now it's my turn to say thank you. I have so many people to say thank you for, and this is how we're gonna do it. Karen's gonna help me once again with a presentation because the RE program is powered by the love and time of volunteers. We recognize their work all year long, and this is a special moment dedicated to uplift and thank them. First, the butterflies class. For each slide, we're gonna see a heart with all the special things about the class, including the teachers, the kids, and the fun things they did. For the butterflies class, I wanna thank Erin Wilcox for all the stories, both in the butterflies class and while coordinating story time, the circle times and the art projects. Thank you, Grace Burns, for the fun on Wednesday nights, the stories and services, and the lessons with the butterflies. Thank you, Isabel Burns, for the special New Year service, the flexibility to jump from class to class, and your welcoming energy. For the Trailblazers and Pathfinders class, thank you, Shawnee Roberts, for sharing the stars with each kid and finding the fun and always seeing the unexpected coming, especially holidays. Thank you, Julianne Best, for coming up with excitement and new ideas outside the classroom and being excited to try new things. Thank you, Jordan Roberts and Jill Eichbauer, for jumping in and sharing your time and passion with this class, as well as supporting the youth. For the Seekers class, thank you, Joanna Wald, for making the Seekers class such an active and friendly place and bringing cool products to your class. And thank you, Eric Wald, for your welcoming spirit. You show the kids you care when you listen and let them be who they are. For junior high, thank you, Brenda Thomas, for your dedication to coordinating the OWL program, the neighboring-based class, and sharing your ideas. Thank you, Ryan Thomas, for sharing your perspective and knowledge with the junior high class and always being willing to listen. Thank you, Kristen May, for creating fun special events for Jackbox games and sharing your knowledge with the junior high and OWL class. And in high school, thank you, Peggy Montrone, for all the snacks and parties and time spent listening and caring with all the youth, both junior high and high school. Thank you, Lorelei White, for always being there for the youth, trying new things and being a rock for so many others, so many over years and years and years. To everyone who served on Sundays and any time, including Larissa Hunt, who taught OWL, Elena Hendricks, who shared her art, Brenda Voisard, who visited Storytime, Mary Norton, who read stories and visited junior high, and Bob Spicer, who did the same, and Shannon Tillman Black, who served in the RE Council. Thank you to everyone, not yet named, who quietly took on tasks, who worked behind the scenes and offered their service. All these generous people, these words are for you. To everyone who says, I worship downstairs with the kids. To everyone who learned as much from the kids as you gave. We know you chose to serve these kids. Between all the time you spend at work, caring for parents or children, doing homework or other service, with grandchildren or gardening, or even just watching TV and hanging out for once. Between all these things, you looked at the time and energy you had, and you decided the thing you wanted to do was volunteer, and you gave your time to these kids every Sunday and every day in between. To the volunteers who showed up early on Sunday and were the last to leave. To the volunteers who quickly learned Zoom, online games, and ways to share stories because you knew this was too important to stop. To all the early morning texts and late night consults, the weekends filled with commitments, and the times this felt like a first, second, or third job, or maybe all. We see your work, and we are so grateful to you. You are this program. You are its hands, its heart, its voice. You are the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. We recognize and celebrate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you to all of our RE teachers and volunteers for all of the amazing work you have done all year long, serving our children and youth in sometimes very trying circumstances. So thank you for all of that work. I'm going to ask us to please hold a moment of silence together. We're just going to sit in your space or wherever it is you are to be comfortable. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Try to take a deep breath in, then let it out. Just come into this space together, knowing that we are connected across time and distance. Spirit of love within us all, God of our hearts, while we are holding a service that recognizes leaders, teachers, friends, longtime members, we are also holding in our hearts the extrajudicial killings of people of color in our country. We feel their pain, anger, and outrage. As you use, we believe we are all connected. What happens to one of us happens to us all. Let us feel our feelings, yes, but may we also act in ways that are supportive. May we listen more than we talk. May we put others first in our conversations, in our work for justice. We, people who believe in justice for all people, who have one of our principles of being equity and a loving, caring world for all, that recognizes that all people deserve to live a strong, healthy life, free of obstacles that are in their way. They deserve to be able to live a life without fear. We, UUs, believe that down to our core, and we support that in the work that we do. Let us find our ways to do that throughout this week, throughout the rest of our South Valley's existence together. Let us struggle through the difficult questions. Let us find the time to be able to ask the hard things of each other, to be able to say out loud, I don't know what to do. I don't know. This is really hard. And to be able to just say that, and to be able to listen, and to be able to risk and try things even when it is challenging. Let us hold all of these realities together as we move forward into our interlude with Mary and David Norton.
In recognition of all the volunteers here at South Valley, This song is called Come With Me Into the Fields. It's taken from various scriptural readings, and it is a song about volunteering and coming into the fields and working toward a common goal.
The fields are high and summer's days are few. Green fields have turned to gold. The time is here for the harvesting, for gathering home into barns. The harvest is plenty, laborers are few. Come with me into the fields. Your arms may grow weary, your shoes will wear thin. Come with me into the fields. The seeds were sown by other hands than yours, nurtured and cared for, they grew. But those who have sown will not harvest them. The reaping will not be their care. The harvest is plenty, laborers are few. Come with me into the fields. Your arms may grow weary, your shoes will wear thin. Come with me into the fields. Come with me into the fields.
Good morning. My name is Jill. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the chairperson for the Leadership, Succession, and Development Committee. This morning, we would like to honor our leadership volunteers. First, Ann Scarborough and Phil Quigley, whose board terms end at the end of next month. Phil's service as treasurer was much appreciated, and Ann served as board president this last year, and she was engaged and caring and all around a great board president. So we want to thank them very much. We would also like to thank Lorelei White, Judy Mayer, and Jan Vanderhooft for their hard work and service on the board. And thank you to Christine Hero, whose term on the endowment committee ends at the end of next month. So thank you, leadership volunteers. We couldn't do the service without sending a huge thank you to all 7 members of the Ministerial Search Committee. They worked countless hours to find an amazing match for our congregation and our incoming settled minister. Yay! Thank you, Chris Berg, Cinnamon Wolf, Lara Renshaw, Brian Debink, Cade Croxford, Maureen Davies, and Bob Spicer. We also have 2 people we would like to honor for really going above and beyond in their volunteering at South Valley. I know there are so many of you who volunteer so much to South Valley, and we are always trying to honor you, and I'm hoping to get to all of you over time. But today, we're going to honor Bill Dobbs and David Wilcox. Bill began serving on the Personnel Committee back in 2012 and became the personnel chair in 2013. He has been the sole committee member for the past 6 years. The Personnel Committee is responsible for oversight of employment policies at South Valley under the authority of the Board of Trustees. And Bill has worked closely with Reverend Patty, Reverend Bob, and Reverend Karen, filling staffing vacancies, making sure our hourly employees turn in their timesheets so they can be paid. With any hiring or termination came many specific HR responsibilities, from placing employment ads to completing background checks and making sure SVUUS was in compliance with our state and federal employment laws. Bill has been generous with his time and talents, spending countless hours composing ads, drafting job descriptions and employee policies, and working closely with our staff to accomplish their goals and dreams. In addition to serving on personnel, he created the Religious Transitions Group in 2003 and continues to lead that. So thank you, Bill. David Wilcox was recruited to lead our stewardship drive in 2016, and what a great move that was. David used his technical skills to create a software program that brought SVUUS into the 21st century. Now, when someone fills out a 3T card online, the data is automatically added to a spreadsheet that tracks the stewardship results. With input from the board, David also added a feature so emails can be sent to the board so they can write thank you notes, and it emails committee chairs when someone expresses interest in serving on their committee. So David has focused not just on the total amount of pledges, but the number of pledgers. Be careful. This focus during the pledge drive communicates that you matter and we want to hear your voice. David has made significant steps forward on our stewardship drive, and we are grateful for all the time and energy that David has volunteered to our community. So thank you to everyone.
Yay!
Yes.
I got so caught up in the moment. Let's see. So it is our practice at South Valley to share our Sunday worship offerings with a charitable organization that aligns with our principles and values. For May and June, we have selected the Navajo and Hopi Families COVID-19 Relief Fund. This organization, founded and operated by Indigenous community organizers, is responding to the health crisis by raising funds and organizing the delivery of groceries, water, and health supplies directly to vulnerable Navajo and Hopi elders and their families. South Valley now has an app for giving. We have an account with Givelify. This allows South Valley to continue receiving funds to support the work of South Valley community during this pandemic. You're invited to give using the link that Natalie is going to put in the chat box, or you can go to your phone and download the app. Once again, it's Givelify. Using this app will help South Valley tremendously during this time of physical distance. Natalie is going to drop her offering words in the chat box, and already has. Let us read these words together. We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together, we share the gift of wealth of our community and sustain it with our gifts.
Sustain it with our gifts.
The offering piece is the prelude for the cello written by Bach exactly 300 years ago in 1720. And it's somewhat making the rounds of the internet currently because of the way it's written and some things that the famous cellist Yo-Yo Ma said last year. before the current COVID crisis broke. And he talks about this particular piece. I'm going to read from this here. This piece, in some strange coded way the culture does, represents in many ways the way that life is currently flowing or was flowing in front of us. It also represents when something very unexpected and tragic interrupts the flow. The piece then includes the rebuilding and the reimagining of a better version of the very first.
Thank you, David. That was really beautiful. I'm going to ask everybody to please put their hands out as if you were putting it towards the physical offering. We know that an offering was just collected for South Valley and for the Navajo and Hopi families. This is a blessing for this offering. For all we have received, all we have found the courage to give, may we be truly thankful. May these gifts be a blessing to South Valley and to the Navajo and Hopi families COVID-19 Relief Fund. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Scott Renshaw. I am currently serving, at least for the next few weeks, as chair of the membership committee. Those who know me and have been around for a while know that I tend to be a lot more scripted. I'm kind of winging it this morning because I wasn't entirely sure I was going to be here. I was taking a COVID test this morning, not for cause, but because I'm having a surgery this week and it's a required part of any pre-surgery situation at this point. So I'm kind of trying to figure my way as I go. I appreciate your patience. And that's also one of the reasons that Laura's going to peek in here periodically. She is also going to be taking over membership when I join the board on July 1st. She served with me co-chairing membership 2 years prior to this one. So she also serves pretty much as my memory of South Valley. I don't have to remember things because she remembers all of them. So it helps out when we have a situation like this that we're trying to recall all the people that have done wonderful things for this community. I also did want to point out that while we are recognizing people who are reaching milestones of membership this year, 10, 20, and 30-year milestones, I don't want that to diminish all of the people who are at 21, 4, 6 months, or anything else. There are people that have done so much for this community. This is just one of those, arbitrary decimal things that we do because that's, the way that we think about the world and think about the passing of time. And I'm also glad that Laura's here because very coincidentally, we are the 20-year members, and it'll be really weird if I started talking about all the stuff that I had done. I'm going to have her decide if she wants to say anything or just let me go on about my business. So if Karen could put up these slides, we're going to recognize our 10-year, 20-year, and 30-year long-term members. First, our 10-year members. Lisa Miller Carlson. We haven't seen her very much this year. Of course, there are a lot of people who are newer and might not know some of these members, so I think it's important to know that some of these people are still part of our community. Lisa has been a teacher with religious education, and is just her and her family, Paul and Maki, are members of our community that I hope to see more of again really soon. Cole Casto, another as a 10-year member. Cole has been part of hospitality. What was Laura has another addition she wanted to. Yes, a couple of years ago, Cole was also the main primary facilitator of the Religious Explorations Adult Wellspring Wednesdays. So we're grateful for that service. Louis Galway, again, haven't seen him that much. He's had some health situations. I know that those of you who are on the listserv see him on there frequently. Louis has also often been someone who is taking care of the little ones in the nursery over the years. And so a lot of the parents of the little ones know him from that service, which is an incredibly important one for this community. 20-year members. Laurel Wright Ferry. I'm so glad that we've had this opportunity. I'm not glad that we're not in our church building, but it's been wonderful to reconnect with Laurel. Because of a disability, she's not able to join us physically in our South Valley building, but has been attending services again. I've had a chance to chat with her over some of the breakout sessions that we've had, and it's wonderful to have her back. And I think it's important to think about that as one of the things that, as difficult as this time has been, there have been some people that have been able to reconnect with this community, and I'm very glad to have them back. Ted and Tucker Gurney and Fred. Ted and Tucker have done so much that they were some of the driving forces behind us getting our solar panels on our roof. For many years, they were the co-chairs of Buildings and Grounds and have been really active in making sure that we are aware of things in terms of social action in the community that members might want to be participating in. Oh yeah, okay, so it's weird. Laura has served on the board. She served as Director of Religious Education. She's been on every committee that I probably have and haven't been on. And I probably couldn't have done most of the things that I've done without her participating as well. And you know, Louise Cofield has served so many different functions. I know she's done a lot with hospitality over the years. Her face behind the counter has always been really a very welcome one, and I'm just grateful for those people who have been here and are faces that are friendly and greet people when they come downstairs. 30-year members. Mac Lund. I mean, at a certain point you kind of run out. Mac has served on the board at least 3 times at 3 different occasions. He's been a high school teacher. He's just been sort of just a rock of this community, and in addition to just being one of the kindest people I've ever met. See, I'm now going to get overclamped. Antoinette was one of the first people who greeted us when we walked in the door to this church. Just an amazing person, has led Evensong over the years. She was one of the very first directors of religious education in this community. And again, just an absolute rock of this community. Dion Corkins has served as part of the worship committee. She's been a lay leader of services and a welcoming committee. She's also helped us be aware of the things that are going on with the Coalition of Religious Communities. That is a larger community group that we connect with often. And Bonnie Kaufman, someone who hasn't been physically in our building as much, and I've really been happy to reconnect with during this time. Bonnie has had a unique quality that she, as a former, I'm going to hope I don't get it wrong, whether it's real estate agent or realtor. I know that those in the field would really kind of chide me for not knowing the difference, but would give part of her commissions for anyone who recommended through South Valley as a donation to the church. Has been an incredible strong supporter over the years, and served on the endowment for many years. Thank you to all of those, and to all of those who aren't mentioned. Every member of this community is important. The fact that these are just the 10, 20, and 30-year members, again, just a fluke of timing. We hope to recognize all of you for all you do as soon as we can. Thank you.
Yes, like Scott said, that we had to pick arbitrary dates. And so for this year, I chose 10, 20, 30. And so who knows what future services will do. But I specifically wanted to call attention to some of our longer term members. And one day, South Valley is going to hit having a 40-year members. And so that is going to be really exciting. So I wanted to start with, gosh, I feel like kind of Scott was getting choked up, but I feel kind of choked up during this service because this represents the end of, almost the end of our year together. So we're almost at that point. But I wanted to lift this up. Hold on. Does anybody remember this? That this is what we created last fall. We did a teacher and lay leader dedication service. And so each person took a piece of paper this length, and we taped it together and put all of the pieces together. And then, I took this down the other day and now they're tied together, but this is what it looks like. All of these different leaders who are all chairs of different groups or committees, people who were teachers, members of the board, members of the search committee, they were all recognized, and this is a physical recognition of them, representation of the beginning of the year. And although we could not be physically together to do an end of this year, we still wanted to recognize and to give recognition to all of the work that has been done. It's been a very good year, and in the end, it's been more stressful because we're in a condition that none of us imagined at the beginning of the year. But all of the work that we have all done has pulled this together. And because of you have just very dedicated volunteers and members. So I just wanted to bring this remembrance back to you. And then when you come back in the building, whatever that is, this will be here as a reminder. And perhaps something like this for, again, in the future. I think we all need these kinds of rituals and remembrances. I wanted to at least lift this up because this service was actually, we began planning this service last fall because I like good beginnings and good endings. I think that marking time is an important thing that humans do, and so we need to have that as one of our rituals of beginnings and endings to bring all of the pieces together. So when it started, then over the course of the year, we've done a lot of work in the background to be able to have a spreadsheet that had all of the years. Your administrator, Cindy Martin, she went through the membership book and created one spreadsheet because we didn't have something like that. One spreadsheet that had the members and the year that they joined, so that we could be able to acknowledge the 10, 20, 30 years. We didn't have that before. So I specifically wanted to be able to say, so who are these people and when did they join? So this is, I think, a really good first step for us to be able to move together. There are some background things that had to happen to make this happen. And some of you, the long-term members also received a certificate, or at least you should have it, went out in the mail on Thursday. Because I also believe that although we are in this place where we're using technology, that there is still the good old-fashioned mail. And so the mail is also a good way to be a part of the community, and so you should have received those certificates if you haven't already. If you haven't yet, you'll be receiving at least by Monday or Tuesday. At the service last fall, we dedicated your lay leaders and your teachers. We all lended them our love and support. Everybody put out their hands, and we made a dedication statement honoring their work and giving them our love and support for the work that we knew that they would be doing over the course of this year. Now that we have reached the end of the program year, almost, still a couple of more weeks, it is time to thank our teachers and our lay leaders and recognize our South Valley's long-term members. And especially, like Scott just said, some of them who I had not even met before we went into the pandemic. So the silver lining of this is that I've got to meet some of the people who haven't been able to be here in person. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity. When people ask me about UU theology, I talk exactly about what this service is about: commitment to being together. Unitarian Universalism is a creedless religion. We don't say everyone must believe the exact same thing. Instead, we say that with all of our differences, all of our different backgrounds, everything that we bring to this space, we are choosing to be together. We are choosing to build a community together. Over time, despite anything that we may have disagreements, we are still going to be together and support each other. There is nothing outside of us that is making us do this. Each of us are choosing to continuously be in this together against all kinds of different odds that we, even ourselves, may have. We are building the beloved community, the microcosm of the world we want to see. And so each congregation is doing that, and the UU world as a whole is doing that. This is one of the reasons why questions about coming back into the building are so difficult, because we want to be able to have a space where everybody can be recognized, welcome. We don't want exclusion of any kind. And so that raises a lot of ethical, very deep personal questions, because we want to have a space where everybody can be honored, and regardless of what any kinds of physical differences we may have. All of those things matter. So South Valley has put a lot of effort into building and shaping the community that it wants, and living its values in that way. Each congregation decides how to govern itself, and it determines who its leaders are, just like you had with your election a couple of weeks ago. The minister can offer support and guidance, but it is the congregation itself that writes its own bylaws, elects its own leaders, determines how to spend its money. This is your congregation. And membership requires deciding to join the congregation. It is an act of free will that you choose to do, and you choose to contribute financially and to participate in the life of the church. Everyone who is recognized today has poured their heart and soul into South Valley, some of you more than 30 years. That is quite an accomplishment. Each of these people recognized today have worked hard to shape, grow, and support South Valley through its many, many years of changes. The work of community is many times overlooked and unseen. Like Scott said, there are many more people that we could be naming, but hopefully in the years going forward that there will be more of these kinds of recognitions to be able to continuously lift up that this community does not exist by one person alone, but by everybody working together. Everything we do together, from the work on the website to facilitating online conversations and some of the games, some of the young adult groups that I hear about, handling, teaching to our youngest friends, the story times that we've had, responding to crises of many different kinds, not just the pandemic. All of this is an important part of our congregational life. I am impressed that one of the activities your board does is send thank you cards every month to folks who have gone above and beyond. Recently, Dana Wright, your board vice president, when she was asking for names to send these cards to on an email list, she said, wow, that's practically everyone this month, because everyone had done so many things above and beyond what was needed to support the community. All of you do so much. I know it is tiring, and what I also know is that you will continue to carry on. Know that you will continue to carry on because together you have grown, loved, and cared for each other. I encourage you to find ways to continue to thank each other. It doesn't have to come from just the board. Everybody, whenever you're in a conversation with anyone in this community, take just an extra minute to say thank you, to say that I appreciate this thing that you did, or I noticed this thing that you said, you contributed a song, you contributed an idea. All of these things build the life of the community. In the service of gratitude, in the feeling of joy from each of you, because this is work, but it is also joyful. You would not be doing this if it did not also fill your soul and make you happy inside, to know that you are an integral part of this community. Hold all of these things together. In a few weeks, I will be leaving, but you will always be in my heart. Thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you for all of you who have worked very, very hard over the course of this year. May it be so. For our final song, John Berquist is going to sing number 145, As Tranquil Streams.
As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea, our kindred hearts and minds unite to build a church that shall be free. Free from the bonds that meet and merge to narrow thought and lifeless creed. Free from a social code that fails to serve the cause of human need. A freedom that reveres the past but trusts the dawning future more, and bids the soul in search of truth adventure boldly and explore. Prophetic church, the future waits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love, proclaim the truth that makes us free.
Natalie is going to put the child distinguishing words in the chat box. You're invited to stand and say our child distinguishing words together. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of community, the light of truth, or the energy of action. We hold each other in our hearts until we meet again.
As we go forth, mostly staying in our homes, let us remember that we are one, we are loved, connected across distance, time, and space. Wherever you go, whoever you interact with, remember to say thank you. Hold each other in gratitude and service until we meet again. Amen. And now Lori will end our recording.